All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. All right, today we are very fortunate from the St. Rose office to have Mr. Andrew Kosloske. Andrew, welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning. What's up, Rick?
Good morning. Well, I've interviewed you a few times, so let's just do a quick intro. Tell them who you are, your office, and then we'll get into some questions. Please.
Sure. My name is Andrew Kosloske, team lead of the Kosloske Group. I have an office at the St. Rose office here in sunny Las Vegas, Nevada. This is my fifth, going on to sixth year in the business. Time flies when you're having fun. Let's see. I've been doing your coaching and your classes probably since day one, before day one. And
you did actually, yeah.
For it. So any opportunity that I can sit behind a mic and mastermind and share the fun secrets of real estate, I'd be more than happy to. So thank you for having me here.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for taking it. I know that you're busy and you got a lot of stuff going on, like 3 kids to start, and you got running the team. Your team. Tell them a little about your team too, please.
Sure. My team's light right now. We are like 4 or 5 agents right now with a full-time transaction coordinator. We primarily prospect, farm open houses, just listed, just solds mainly, but they're all great. We are synergizing. We all have irons in the fire. We just hired a new gal. She's has a little bit of sales background, and she talks the talk. Hopefully she can walk the walk, and she's always asking for shadow opportunities. I mean, definitely someone that would vibe with the team and is looking like she's putting in the ethic to do that. Because I'm on team. I don't offer leads, but what I do offer is, accountability, prospecting partners, leadership, the ability to just, I like to lead by example, not to say that that's the only reason why. I have a pretty generous commission split on my team as well, because I don't offer those leads. So any deal that you get, you pretty much take home everything. But our team is doing really well, and I'm super proud of them. And if they're listening, I really am proud of you guys. Keep up the momentum, because quarter 4 might be our best quarter this year. The way that it shuffled out is the last 2-3 weeks, we just had a hot streak, baby. And we signed some contracts. We got them stacked up, and we're working on them to get them closed this month, next month, so that we can all enjoy our team dinner and a nice Christmas month. That'd be nice for me, for us.
That's great.
So, yeah.
Isn't it always nice to finish the year strong? Because, and it's really up to us. It's up to our actions. Like you and I, everybody, my coaching call with Angel was actually an hour ago, right? It happens to be in my Monday schedule at 7 a.m. And, we were just talking about that. It's just it's all up to you. Now, there are times where the playing field's better and the same actions take you further, but as long as you're taking the actions, you're getting the results, right?
I agree. Yes, absolutely. If you're putting in the work, you're keeping your nose to the grindstone, and you stay disciplined with your schedule, you can have really good quarter 4s. You can have really good quarter 3s, quarter 2s, quarter 1s. I don't think anything beats a good quarter 1, especially with like a sale in the first week of January. That is just an amazing feeling to start your year off, but also finishing the year, hitting your goals, making sure you getting closer to those stretch goals that you placed before your team or yourself. The goal that we set as a team, if we continue on this quarter, we're going to hit it. So that is it's an incredible feeling. And that's just due because my team puts in the work. They're there. They're in the office with me. They're not, there's nothing wrong with working from home, but when it's time to work, we're working. They're there. They're putting in the time. And it's really showing this year how important it is to have that disciplined schedule so that we can have opportunities like this. Because, to be honest, the last 2-3 weeks, the stuff that happened wasn't anything due to skill. You know what I mean? Like, it was just because we just put in the time. We put in the work, and things lined up. We had the opportunities to push as salesmen and women, and we closed some contracts. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
That is a very good thing. It's a very good thing. Before we get off topic any further, but give an idea. You just mentioned your 5th year, give an idea of your progression, and then after the progression, maybe give us the schedule that went along with that, please.
Sure. So schedule as far as like my daily?
Yeah, like start with like, you know, you did this much your first year, second year, like you've done before, and then
Okay, yeah.
also,
Yep.
and then give me your schedule too, because I think that'd be very helpful.
Sure. First year in the biz was I started like maybe 4 or 5 months before the COVID lockdowns here in Vegas. I ended up doing 21 into contract that year, but because of the closings, I ended up doing like 16. Ended up getting rookie of the year first year. Second year was a better year. Did around like 44. Third year, I started my team in the end of the second year. Third year, I personally did like 76 units, and then the team supplemented. I think we did like 106 that year total. That was a fun year. Fourth year, kind of had a personal explosion in the life there, and I only ended up doing, you know, back to I think no more than high 30s, low 40s, and this year we're looking at like mid 30s for me. But my price point has almost doubled since my start of the career, which is great because the checks are bigger and the work is a little less. Not only that, but I'm putting a lot more time into the family. But that's essentially the progression of the years that I've been in real estate. How my daily schedule looks like and how it has changed over the years. My first year, I didn't know what I was doing. I just kind of emulated the top producer here at the office, who wasn't married, no kids, but did an incredible amount of production. So I was like, well, if he does it, I got to do his thing, right? I'm just going to copy him. If he's there, I'm there. What he wears, what he wears, you know? And I just got burnt out. I was so sick of making those phone calls for 4 or 5 hours a day. Not to say that I don't do them now, but at that length, it really took it out of me. Then I took all that baggage home. I mean, it didn't work. Second year is when I decided that, like, hey, I have to come up with some sort of schedule. I'm going to stick to it this year, and that's the biggest thing that really helped me. My second year was creating my own schedule. I think one of the things that stinks the worst about real estate is when you wake up and you have no idea what you're supposed to do. That is the worst feeling, you know. Then you're gonna stick to busy work because it feels like you're doing something instead of actually sticking to productive work. So because there is a difference. So that's the second year. Third year was just taking everything that I had in a schedule and sticking to it with discipline, whether or not I didn't want to do it, whether or not I didn't want to make those calls, I didn't want to door knock, I didn't want to do those follow-up calls, I didn't want to go into the office because I was making good money. Like, third year just took it away. Fourth year was a real gut check on mentality, why I'm doing this, why I feel this way, because I had some personal things go on. I had some calling anxiety my fourth year too, just with everything going on. Like I don't know if it was imposter syndrome. I don't know if it was just, I don't know what it was, but it was really hard for me to continue my prospecting through calls my fourth year. And I remember talking to you about that in coaching. I was
I remember, yes.
It was like 3 to 6 months where I just would maybe do like 20 to 30, 14 contacts a day, 20 contacts here, 6 contacts there. It was way lighter than I normally did. And then this last year, gotten a lot better and really focused on taking every opportunity seriously because my schedule is so tight now that all my kids are a little bit older. They all have extracurricular stuff. And it's not their fault that their dad wants to be a successful realtor. So I have to keep my schedule even tighter. And I have to show them that it can be done. They're not an excuse. Kids are never an excuse. Like if you're listening and you have kids, they should never be an excuse as to why you can't be successful. You just got to wake up a little bit earlier. That's what I honestly believe. But taking every opportunity seriously, every time you talk to somebody on the phone, every time you follow up with somebody, like don't just, be lackadaisical, like really try and push for the sale. And that's kind of been the progression of my 5.5 years.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you're right. You're right. I mean, a lot of people have kids, a lot of people have spouses, a lot of people have ex-spouses, a lot of people have situations, health challenges. But you're right. You gotta decide what's important to you, and then come up with a schedule that matches it. And you don't have to have other areas of your life sacrifice. I mean, let's face it. We're independent contractors. I don't think anybody who is a super successful person mentally is ever like 100% balanced. I don't think anybody is 100% balanced, but you've got to have at least some, extremely good balance to it, meaning you're spending some time in your health, you're spending time with your family, you're spending time on your mindset, you're spending time, with your business, you're spending time, doing the major areas of your life. And I think it's what you're trying to say, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Good. Well, good. So, you talked a lot about the contacts up and down and in between. What's your current schedule as far as, like, you come in, what are you doing on a daily basis now?
Sure. So on the days that I have my kids, I drop them off at school, which is probably like around 7:30, get to the office around probably right now, try and get my contacts in by like 10, 11, do follow-up team stuff until about noon, and then wrap everything up, try and get last-minute emails, prints, everything out for potential later appointments by 12:30, and then I leave the office. I go to the gym. I then go pick up the kids, and then I'm dad for the rest of the day. It is a short work day. It is like fire and brimstone, all lightning, all gas, no brakes, and that's just the way that it is on the days that I have the kids. Sundays I take completely off for them. If I do get some appointments, they either come with or they don't. But they need to see we're all together on Sundays. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday are the days that I don't have the kids because we split weeks. And I'm working as long as I possibly can with the same schedule, but I wake up at like 4 to get to the gym, and then I'll leave the office around the same time, get a bite to eat, go home, and then work the rest of the day from home. But that's it. I mean, my life is dry. I don't party. I don't drink. It's really just kids and work and my team and some training, and that's fine with me. And that's the season of life that I'm in, and I love it. It's mine. I've embraced it. And that's my schedule, and that's what I do.
Yeah, you have a pretty tight workout schedule as well, don't you?
I have been taking it very seriously. I think health. I am one of the guys that does believe that health is wealth, and it kind of got out of hand a couple years ago. I got up to like 265, and my frame is not a frame that can sustain the body shape at 265. I was looking like a nice little pear, just a soft, fluffy.
You should have been about 6'7", right? Is what you're saying.
Yeah. Right here now at like 5'10", 5'10 and a half, maybe 5'11", depending on the shoes. I'm sitting at like 212. So just the overall energy increase, the focus increase from just being healthy is second to none. There's no amount of coffee that can make you feel energized or fired up like I do on the daily. And that's just because, taking control of your health will spill over into other things in your life, like your job or your relationships or your parenting or just your energy and focus throughout the day. So yeah, I do take that seriously, and I do chunk out time in my day to make sure that I get a good workout in. Same thing with like diet too. I really don't mess around with fast food anymore, and overall I just feel great throughout the day.
Yeah, you bring your own cooler in, don't you? You meal prep.
I do, yeah.
I have my own cooler too. I'm looking at it right now. Yeah.
Yep.
I've been doing it for years. Huh?
I said you got to stay lean.
You got to stay lean and mean. Well, and the older you get, the tougher it is. The workout's got to be different, but yeah. The thing is that what you said about, no cup of coffee or amount of coffee can replace. That's the thing for me is I know every day when I get up and I work out, I know how much better, how more mentally, my eyes work better. My breathing is better. My mindset's a hell of a lot better because, I always knew that it felt that way, and then I always was wondering why that is. And I listened to a book years ago, and this really smart lady, psychologist, psychiatrist, I can't think of what she was, but she said that working out And like, let's say you're working out and reading positive stuff, right? So you're starting, or listening to it. You're starting off the day and you're pumping chemicals into your body that you already have that it's like taking a little Ritalin and taking a little Prozac, because those positive, that's what she said, but naturally, because it releases the same hormones and chemicals into your system as taking that. Working out does that naturally for you. All right. It makes you more focused. It makes you more positive. It makes you more energetic. You burn calories different. Right. So it's a whole different thing. And to me, it's one of those things that it's kind of sad that most people don't give them the opportunity until you're going for, like look at you lost, 60 pounds in that process. There's a lot of accomplishment, and the guy that was just on the phone with us too, Tim's in the middle of that journey. Tim Dunn, he lost a lot of weight. He's looking good, right? So that whole journey, it just solidifies, it adds confidence to you, even into your sailing, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, not to sound vain, but when you feel good, you look good. I mean, you act good, hopefully, at these listing appointments, when you're all dressed up, you got your suit and tie on, you're feeling good. You tend to perform a little bit better, other than, when you feel fluffy and you feel tired, you feel like you dread going to that appointment. You're not as energetic. You're not as focused. I mean, there's a big difference in mentality just based on your physical state. And I'm definitely seeing the benefits of it. I mean, it is hard. I mean, that's the thing. It's hard work. You're always on. You're always doing something. But it's worth it. It's worth it because I do believe a good mental state, a good physical state go hand in hand with a really good and successful real estate career. Be it a man or a woman, doesn't matter. Like if you have a good mindset and you're physically in shape, I think, you don't have to be like shredded out your mind, you know what I mean? But like before you make calls, maybe go take like a 5-10 minute walk just to get the blood pumping a little bit, get focused on your scripts, replay it through your mind, just kind of like an athlete prepares before a game. And then that's another thing. Take those calls seriously. It's not just like, I got to make my calls. Like, nope, I have to go. I got to get my coffee. I got to get my water. I got to turn on a little bit of background music. I got my scripts. I got my new objections, my new quarterly objections that we just went over. Got my objection handlers, and I'm going to go walk for 5 minutes, and then I'm going to take some contracts. I'm going to, make these calls with the point to not just have conversations, but to get appointments.
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge difference. Yeah.
It's like the saying goes, nothing tastes as good as thin feels or fit feels, I would say today. Right? Yeah. So I can remember having that little bit of stomach hanging over my belt. I was like, that was like the worst, because you feel sluggish, like you said, fluffy. I like that one. You feel sluggish, you feel fluffy. And then you turn it the other way and you you feel great. You can feel every muscle in your body, which I think is a fabulous feeling. But all right, so we've come to that part where my favorite question, is top 3 items. So I want to be successful in this business. Give me your top 3.
Sure. Top 3 successful. I mean, these change for me just based on everything that I'm going through personally. I mean, It's not going to be the same for everyone, but in my personal season of life right now, schedule is a huge part of the success of the team and just my personal life. I have a schedule. I stick to it, and I just stay confined within the parameters of my schedule. If I miss prospecting on this day, I'll try and make it up on another day. But if it doesn't, I just go to the next thing on the schedule. I don't let anything delay anything else. That's the schedule, and we're sticking to it. Other thing is like really understand the current market and the people that might be looking to buy or sell and their objections. Like obviously we have an election this year. So you need to know the objection handlers for when somebody says, I'm going to wait until after the election. So just understanding the market and the mindset that these people have when it comes to purchasing and selling is also going to really help you right now in this specific season. Third thing is just understand the contracts, when you can talk shop, when you know the probate process, when you understand how to deliver the BBRA and what it actually entails and how to explain that in confidence to your clients, it will come off so much more well received than somebody who's just like, so here's our RPA and you just got to sign it because that's what we do to submit an offer. And they're like, okay, all right. I mean, if you understand it and say, hey, let's break this down on the, page by page. Let me explain it to you. Do you want me to read it to you? Like, no, you don't want me to read? Okay, well, let me just summarize everything real quick just so you have an idea of what's going on in this actual contract, this legally binding contract, before we send it off so we're all on the same page because we're a team kind of thing. I think those three things will really help someone elevate their career a little bit here. In this real estate market of 2024 going into 2025, I think if you focused on those three things, schedule, the objection handlers, and the mindset of the market, and then the third point there, I think you do really well.
I agree 100%, and I like it because you're not, a lot of people are still. Well, I shouldn't say that because the people I coach aren't complaining anymore about the changes that we just had to start in, what was it, August. Most people, I haven't even heard a lot of, the top agents like yourself, but your process you just went through kind of incorporates that, meaning that the change really didn't affect you because you were already doing what you just said. Right?
Yeah.
So,
and we were role-playing it in our office here on Tuesdays, like months before this even went through. Like I was trying to get everyone prepared so you don't have to have that anxiety, that fear of like, oh my gosh, am I going to get paid? It's like, you will get paid. You just, now you got to make sure that you're actually worth your pay. And that can be a scary feeling for some people because they don't have the confidence or the knowledge of the product, which was the third point, the knowledge of the contracts. Or the processes. But once you take all those three things and you put a pretty little bow on it, and you put some cologne and a nice tie on, like you can do some business. And I really hope that helps somebody out there. Yeah, because right now I think the biggest objection that I'm hearing just based on calls really is I'm going to wait until the election is over. And, depending on what political party you sit on, there's opportunities for both. And for me, like I know my political party that I'm going to vote for, but it's like I'm here to make money, and I'm not here to demonize one side or the other. Like, hey, if that's what you think, then ABC is going to be your best bet. If that's what you think for this political party, then XYZ is going to be the best. Like, what steps are you taking to get closer to that? Because that's what you think, right?
Right.
And there's going to be sales there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, whatever political party you stand by, getting top dollar from your home is still going to be an important topic for you, right? That's what I think.
Yeah, that's going to be a universal truth there for anyone trying to sell their home. Yep. We want to make you as much money as possible.
And that's that's a very unique combination, which I think is great for you. You're aggressive. When I say aggressive, I don't mean that you're aggressive, meaning that you go out there, you proactively create business, you work with your team on helping them get better. And then you also make them work and study and test them on the contracts, being both the purchase and sale and the buyer broker agreement, which I think is critical because, like you said, when you are confident about the forms you're having them sign because you understand them yourself, it's a lot easier to get them signed. And, let's face it. I mean, now you're totally in control of what you're getting paid as a buyer agent. Before it was an offering and if you were going to change that, you had to get the buyer agent to agree to it. The seller's agent to agree to it prior. Now you get to write in. Like I know a lot of agents I'm coaching, they're getting 3, sometimes they negotiate 2.75, but I can tell you the good ones are getting paid the same or more than they were before. Would you agree?
I agree. Yeah. And that was one of the things that I brought up in a lot of the role play classes. I was like, guys, as a buyer now, we actually have the opportunity to make a little bit more than what we did before. And that's never a bad thing. That's never a bad thing.
Never a bad thing. Money makes nothing worse. Now, I know that sounds shallow, but it's not. Right? Making money makes nothing worse. It only makes things better. All right. Awesome, my man. Any final words you want to leave these lovely people today?
No, I hope you guys have a great day. I hope there was, something that was interesting or that would kind of piqued your mind a little bit during this chat. And as always, I don't know if Rick puts my contact information on there, but if you guys have any questions, always reach out. I'm sure you can find my emails.
Yeah, give it to him. Give him your email and your cell phone. Go right ahead, my man.
Sure. My cell phone is 702-488-2251. And then the email is the Berkshire Hathaway email, which is Andrew K@bhhsnv.com.
Yes.
Andrew J.K.
And I really
Andrew J.K.
Andrew J.K. I love it. Okay, cool. Well, I really appreciate you taking your time out today. I'm sure people got nuggets. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at Success Series as well for my interview. So keep it rocking, my man. Everybody else, we'll talk to you in a week. Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you, sir. Have a great day.
Thank you, buddy. Keep rocking it.
Bye.
Bye.